Hi everybody, it's Mark again, and I hope that you're enjoying my YouTube videos. I hope that you're learning things. Um, this video is going to be on my 1880-ish Alexander Fleig Railroad, after the Hunter's Cuckoo clock. I need to fix some hands, and I need to fix the strike. Also, I just want to mention, when you're bit by the antique/clock bug, you seem to want to purchase and find good deals, and before too long, you're like me, and you have over 400 clocks in your house. A, you don't have the room for these clocks, and B, when one of the clocks quits working, you have to take the time to work on that clock, and then another clock might quit working, and you got to take the time to work on that clock, and before too long, your over 400 clock collection, half of them are not working because you got a divorce and they were in storage for years, or your health prevents you from working on the clocks or whatever. All I'm trying to say is be wise about your collection. Don't be like me where you just continue to collect and collect and collect until you're overwhelmed. I started collecting when I was 35 years of age. I'm a little bit older than that now. My health doesn't allow me to do what I used to do. I used to be a Superman. Now I'm not. And so be wise about your collection, and make sure that you're able to manage it or buy and sell. And that has been my biggest issue, is the selling part. I've only sold 2 clocks since I've been collecting clocks since 1999. And so I need to start selling off my clocks, because the whole point of my clocks was my children's inheritance. I know more about the clocks than they do, and so I wouldn't want, if I passed away and they went to sell them off, they might sell a clock for something that they think is a good deal and get ripped off. So I need to do something. So anyway, kick back and let's talk about this Alexander Fleig clock. If you remember correctly, I glued this minute hand, and it worked for the longest time, but it broke again. It wouldn't have broke if the clock was hanging on the wall and in working order, but I had to take the hands off, and it broke taking the hands off. But I ordered some hands from Justin Barron, one of my group members. He carves the hands. I already got the hour hand on. Here's the minute hand. Now, I told him to leave the hole small. That way I can carve it out, file it out, whatever. That way it fits tight on the clock. So that's what I'm doing. I got this file right here that I put in the old hand, and I got this blue tape. So now I know that I need to file this hand down to the blue tape, and I almost got it there. So I'm gonna continue filing this down, and then we're gonna talk about the next step that I have to do. Here you can see that I'm down to the blue tape, but you should also be able to see that the hands that he made for me are thicker than the original hands, so that might create an issue, and I might have to file the square down more. I'm going to try it out. Here's that clock that those hands go on. Alexander Fleig, 1880-ish. After the Hunter's Cuckoo clock. It's the biggest clock that I have in my house. It's also the one that my group expert carver, Steve Baller, carved the antlers and repaired a bunch of the carvings. And I apologize up front. The lighting in my house sucks. Hopefully you can see with this hand on, there's a hole that a pen goes on. And it's on this side of that hand. But the hand is not far enough down, so I have to file that square some more. You should also be able to see the shaft that the hand goes on. It's got a long ways to go before the hand bottoms out with the hour hand. Again, apologize for the lighting in my house. It's too big of a house with a few lights that I have. Now you should be able to see I have a wire on there. And that's only temporarily. Like I said, I've got another issue with this clock. And I know the hand's not on right. That should have been a half hour. Four, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10 o'clock. Five, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 o'clock. Somewhere along the line, it cuckoos too many times. It should be 1 o'clock. It should have been 2 o'clock, and it cuckooed 3 o'clock. One of the issues, and I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, the wire that brings the cuckoo back inside the door, it's broken. So I have to take the topper off this clock. I have to put this clock somewhere safe so I could take the movement back out, so I could fix the issue with the cuckoo. It's ticking just fine, but I've been putting this off, but it's time for me to get something done around my house. And so this is what I chose to do today. So because it's such a fragile clock, I have some bubble wrap that I'm going to lay on my bed. That way I can put the clock face down on that bubble wrap so I could take the movement out to fix it. And that way, hopefully, none of these carvings break on me. They're so delicate. And you know, if you were 170, 190 years, well, it was made in around 1880. I had to get my calculator out. If you were 143 years old, you would be fragile also. So, time to take this thing off the wall. There's a cable right there that is attached to the case. And that cable is attached to a screw that I have in the wall, and a stud, and it's a long screw. A screw is about 4 or 5 inches long, and so I didn't want it to drop. So anyway, first thing I have to do is take the topper off, and the topper is connected by these wires. They go into the eye bolts on both sides, and I believe also there's some nails that go into the roof. So let me do that. Now I've got the hands removed. I got the clock laying on my bed. I got all this packing material from purchases that I've made. This is a really thick foam, and of course I got all that bubble wrap. The Cuckoo bird has got 2 doors to it, and this is the only clock that I have where the Cuckoo bird has got 2 doors to it. Typically a battery operated cuckoo clock, that's a dead giveaway, where the Cuckoo bird has got 2 doors to it. But in this case, it's definitely not battery operated. So let me release the Cuckoo bird. Now, I have this lever right here to keep the doors closed. And I tell people that it can be used for a nighttime shutoff lever, even though it is a count wheel movement. When you open up the doors, you'll have to reset the Cuckoo to the correct time. But it can be used as a nighttime shutoff lever. Why would you want to turn these things off at night? I have no idea. Now with the case turned over, I can flip up the nails, take the back door off, and voila, here's the movement. So I'm going to have to release the Cuckoos, take the clips off the chains so I can pull the movement out. And then there's 4 screws to take the movement out. And there, and we'll discuss it again, is AF for Alexander Fleig. The pendulum leader wire, which is normally held into place by a loop that's held on the loop, in this case has got a suspension spring on it, and this thing is extremely long, and I'm going to take it out of my way because it is in my way. I don't want to bend it, break it, etc. And so I'm just going to take the thing off. It has a couple of bends in it, and I'm going to straighten it out while I have it out of the movement. But there are two issues with this movement. First issue is the bird post. I told you that the wire was broken, and here you should be able to see that the wire is broken. This wire, which connects down to this post, is what brings the bird back in when it's done cuckooing. And it's broken. Another issue is, and it might be the bird that brings the wire that brings the bird back in, that might be what takes care of this, but the lever that goes into the crutch, the count wheel, there's normally a spring on it, and there's not one. Even though the weight of the item puts it into the count wheel, I prefer it to have a spring on it. Now, my group expert, Valentin Weber, is the person that told me about the time frame when this clock was made. And he said between 1880 and 1890 is when this movement was made, and I will take his word for it. But there are nuts on the posts. But anyway, I'm going to come up with a different spring for this bird post. So here I have the bird post off, and again, as you can see, the wire is broken. And so there's not really enough wire left. So I'm going to make a different one with this green wire. Got the wire inside the drill, got this bolt on here with the threads, with the drill in reverse. And putting pressure on it. I made another spring. Now you just unscrew it from this bolt. Whether it's going to be the right strength or not, I'm not for sure. I think it'll work. We will find out directly. And if you look, it is a spring. The person that I learned how to make these springs, he would wind them around. I find it easier just to wrap the spring around the post, because when you wind that spring around, it gets distorted. I think I need to watch his video again. But anyway, I got this thing back on, and so I need to put it back together and see if the spring is going to work. The spring works great. Only one problem. It's going the wrong way. I wound the spring in the wrong direction. So now I have to take that spring back off and wind it in the opposite direction. I was wrong. It has nothing to do with which way you wind it. It has to do with which way you put the spring at the end. I was coming from the top and going underneath, and that made it made the cuckoo come out toward the front, with me going underneath the movement and coming out at the top of the movement. It now springs back to where it needs to be. And with the minute hand on, I don't know whether this movement fits perfectly square in the case. But with the minute hand on, that's the half hour right there, but it hasn't tripped yet. It trips about 2 minutes past the half hour, or hour one, I don't know which one it is. And the same way with the hour. So the proper way to adjust it is to take these parts off. And with this one, there's a wire preventing the minute shaft from coming out. So I'm just going to lift this up, bend this lever, and then put the minute hand back on and see whether I bent it the right way or not. And I don't believe I did. Yeah. That's what this wheel here is for, to prevent this from turning too dang fast. It's still off a little bit, so I'm going to see if I can adjust it some more. And I wasn't paying attention as to which way I was adjusting it. And I went the wrong way. I was taking the thing in, bending this tab in, and that made it go to like 5 minutes past the hour. So now I need to take that tab out and try it again. And that is almost dead on. So I'm going to leave it like that and put the rest of these parts on. And I have another video that explains what this wheel is all about and the whole purpose behind it. And if your hands are dropping as they go around, if they drop like that, it's because there's not enough pressure on this wheel. And that's what this piece right here is for, is to put pressure on this wheel. So if your hands are dropping, you need to adjust that lever to put more pressure on that wheel. If your hands are too tight, your clock might tick all day long, but the hands don't move. It's because you got too much pressure on that wheel. Anyway, I'm going to put this washer and find the pen that I took out and put it back on. And as you know, I wear these shirts all the time. That has to do with clocks. I love the clock shirts. My friend Seth Lingenfelter designs these shirts. And there has been an advertisement for a shirt and other things that has to do with my last name on Facebook, but I don't trust the ads on Facebook. So I asked Seth if he could change the design a little bit, change the wording, and create me a shirt. And he did. And so let me show it to you. Now here is the design. Of course, my last name is Munnerlin. It's a Munnerlin thing. I don't have to explain it to you. I really love this shirt. I love clocks, but I love my name. And like I said, I didn't trust the other ads on Facebook. So he changed it up so he wouldn't get in trouble for violating any copyright rules. And so stand by. Currently, you could buy these shirts off of Redbubble for $15.17 a piece. You cannot go into Walmart and buy a Munnerlin shirt for that price, or any price, because Munnerlin shirts are not around. You cannot go into Walmart and buy a clock shirt like he has designed for me. And I just got through ordering several shirts. I don't know how to get this thing to show my recent orders. Order history. Here we go. Nah. I just got through spending quite a bit of money in shirts because I believe in Seth. I believe in helping people out, and I will do whatever I can to help people out when I believe in them. I'm trying to get to my clock shirts. Of course, in order to get to the stuff with Seth, you click on his stuff. But here, not for sale, not for sale. These are my shirts that I had him design, and you can buy one of these shirts. You can buy any of these shirts for $15.17 right now because they have an advertisement going on. If you think the name shirt is a cool idea, contact Seth Lingenfelter. I will put this video in this clock video I'm doing, but I will put a link to his channel in the description of this video, and I will leave a link to his channel at the end of this video. You can't go out and buy these shirts at just any place. Some people think that it's too much money, but if you love what you're doing, I love clocks, as you can tell. I have clocks all over my house. So why not show the love for clocks through shirts? I don't believe I've ever done the bucket test on this clock. Anti-clock movements, it really depends on the thickness of the plate. On the average, 700 grams. And some of them take 400 grams, 500 grams, but it's best to do a bucket test to see now when I add the bellows to that, it's going to take more weight. I'm going to go ahead and see, and this is very light, so I'm going to see what it does with the time side. As you can see, it's not enough for the time side, so I'm going to add more water to it. And there, the birch assembly ticks away. So I'm going to weigh that and see how much it weighs. So stand by. So I weighed it with my post office scale that I bought at an auction, and I've shown you this in a different video. And it takes approximately 700 gram weights. Well, I have some, but they're on other clocks. And after you add the bellows to it, you want that cuckoo sound and not a dragging sound. So I currently have 1,200 gram weights on it, I believe. Yeah, I believe these are 1,200 gram weights, but it's an antique looking weight. Let me weigh them. They are 1,200 gram weights. Now I have to adjust this lever right here so it pushes the cuckoo bird out. And currently it's not adjusted properly because you should be able to see it. If I can get it over there, this lever is too far away from this wire right here, which makes the cuckoo go out. This is the lever that I need to adjust because right now it's not touching that wire. So grabbing it with a pair of pliers up at the top and then bending it down at the bottom. Doing it again because it's still not doing what I want it to do. The bird is catching on that wire, but let me show you again. Bird goes out, comes back in. Bird goes out, and it's going to come back in. Now I have to go through the entire setup from here all the way back to here to make sure that it's not going to cuckoo more than what it needs to. And if you watch this, when I trip the cuckoo is going to come out and it's going to stay out. It's not going to move. And the reason why it doesn't move is because this lever here that comes out of the count wheel, the very tip of that lever is riding along the count wheel. If it's got space between the very tip of that lever and the count wheel, the cuckoo bird is going to bounce in and out of the door. So watch what happens. As you can see, it's barely moving whatsoever. And watch the lever. It's riding along the count wheel. So far, so good. One more thing I want to discuss is the governor fan. Watch the governor fan when it gets done cuckooing. If your governor fan continues to rotate more than a half to a turn, your cuckoo is going to cuckoo fast. The governor fan is there to slow down your cuckoo. And when I flick it like this, it stops almost immediately. If it doesn't, you need to tighten it up, or your cuckoo is going to cuckoo too fast. And if your cuckoo cuckoos too fast, it would also cause this lever here not to stop where it should stop when it's done cuckooing. Because the cuckoo is going to go so fast, it might make it jump out of that notch that it goes in at the end. And with the movement in beat, it's about time to put the movement back into the case and hang the clock back up on the wall. Before I put the movement back into the case, I want to discuss two things. First, what happens when the clock goes into warning? Currently, the third wheel warning pin is hitting the lever that is on the opposite side of this lever, this brass piece that goes into the cam on the second wheel. That third wheel warning pin is hitting, from looking at the rear of the movement, the right side of that lever that goes into the cam of the second wheel warning, second wheel. So when it goes into warning, two things are going to happen. The governor fan is going to move just a little bit. The third wheel warning pin is going to come on the opposite side of that lever that goes into that cam, and it's all going to happen in an instant. So watch the governor fan and watch the third wheel warning wheel. It's going to move just a little bit, and you're going to hear a click. Let's try it again. Did you see the governor fan move and the third wheel warning wheel move? It is now in warning, and this clock went into warning about 10 minutes till the hour. And the second thing I want to talk about, because I adjusted this wheel so the Cuckoo would not bounce back and forth, because I adjusted this lever, you will see that my minute hand is now a couple minutes till the hour. So now I have to adjust it again. But you have to keep in mind that it's all connected. This piece right here, that's connected to this lever that comes out of the count wheel, that's connected to the lever that goes into the cam on the second wheel. It's all connected to that wire that trips from the minute think, Mark. The minute wheel with center, the minute post with center wheel. It's all connected. And so any adjustments that you make, you have to make sure that you, like I showed you when I made the adjustments on this wire, I held a pair of pliers up here and I bent this wire. That way I didn't get everything out of adjustment. But when I bent that lever, I didn't hold a pair of pliers up here. So now I have to readjust it. I have it adjusted now. So now it's time to try it out again. On the hour, it seemed to be okay, but on the half hour, it looks like it's off a little bit. So I'm going to adjust it a little bit more. Try to. And as you can see, the cuckoo bird is now moving a little bit. The half hour seems to be fine, but now in the hour it seems to be off a little bit. That was actually the half hour. I'm not going to adjust it anymore. I can live with that. How much you adjust it, it's up to you. Time to put this thing back in the case. I hope y'all are enjoying this video. Please give me a thumbs up. Please leave me some comments. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. I have a lot of clocks to work on. When I can do it or not, I don't know. Taking the movement out, just leaning over my bed just a little bit to take the movement out, irritated my back. I have a lot of back issues, and so that's why I don't feel like working on clocks a lot. Most of the time I'm laying in bed. But leave me some comments. These antique setups for the chain hooks, they're easy to put on, easy to take off. The chain itself is brass, but the hook is metal. The washer, a lot of them are designed like this also, except for they have a loop, and then instead of having a hook, they have another loop. But this clock has got these kind of washers on it, and you could split the washer as you see it split, but I didn't do it. We're in the process of hanging it up and testing it, and I didn't notice, but you learn from my mistakes, and I'm going to show you my mistake. As you can see, the Cuckoo doors don't want to close. I'm going to show you why. The lever that the Cuckoo bird post sits on is touching the case of the clock. Hopefully you can see that. I have it on the wrong spot. I need to put it inside the movement, just like the bottom lever. So it's time to take this thing back into my bedroom and take it apart after I rest, because my back is throbbing. Turned around. Now watch what happens when I open the doors. That's what I like to hear. I'm slamming shut. That's the way it should be. Now to try to hang this thing back up. What happens now when I trip the Cuckoo? The door opens and it closes. And he lifts his tail. Or she. It bounced one time then, and it wasn't supposed to. So it's not exactly correct. The count wheel might have a burr on it. It might need, the lever that goes in the count wheel might need adjusted just a tiny bit. But I'm getting there. My back is killing me, and that's done for, that's enough. I'm going to put it all back together and go from there. Well, there it is. And after all this time of adjusting those hands, watch what happens. it's off. However, it is running. That's one of the reasons why I don't like square hole hands. And if it wasn't for paying all that money for making these hands, I would make it into a round hole hand. But in this case, I can still do it, but there's a wire that goes to the hole, so it would be hard to do it. But at least it's ticking away, and I can't believe how late it is. It's already that time. There's one more thing I want to show you. Now this is Time Sabers again, and you could order Cuckoo Clock bone hands, and this is the only kind that they have. It's for 120 millimeter size dial, and they're $27.50 a pair. Okay, that's the only style they have. One of my YouTube subscribers and group members bought some blanks, bone hands, bone blanks, I believe off of eBay, I'm not for sure, for $5, and with a Dremel was able to make that. I think it's very good myself. So if you don't want to spend the money to pay somebody like Justin Barron to make you some hands, you can buy some bone blanks and make them yourself. You can go to Time Sabers, and like I said, they only got the one set of bone hands. And so some people want bone hands on their antique clocks. This is the only clock that I bought bone hands for, and that's because it was a special clock. This clock, I believe it's a Baller & Son. I got it from a GW. The minute hand was broken. I'm not for sure where the minute hand is right now. I might have taken it off. I have trouble keeping up with all my stuff. But it is bone hands. This clock is an antique clock. It's got plastic hands on it. So, again, if you want some bone hands, you can contact Justin Barron and have him to make you some. You can order blanks off of eBay and make your own. You can go to Time Sabers or other places and order bone hands. Anyway, I hope y'all enjoyed this video, this set of me repairing my Alexander Fleig After the Hunter's cuckoo clock. It's the biggest cuckoo clock I have in my house. I got a really good deal on it, but it needed some work, and I needed to, I bought the hands off of Justin, and I just haven't felt like putting them on. So today, I made myself work. So leave me some comments, subscribe to my channel, give me a thumbs up. I hope everybody enjoyed this video. Don't forget to order shirts from Seth Fleig After, and I'm going to leave a link to his YouTube channel in the right hand of the screen. I always advertise for Michael Anderson. I really like his work. Him and I get along really well. and I advertise for Torsion Dell. Please subscribe to all three of those channels. If you do nothing else, please subscribe to those channels. But I hope that you contact Seth and have him to make you it's a Smith if your last name is Smith, shirt. Or contact him and say, hey, I want you to create me a shirt for my clock. What better way to show the love of your name, your heritage, and your passion? May God bless each and every one of you.